Welcome to the Geekz. Sorry, we are late and wrong, or at least I am. Ed's always ready and prepared and right. I'm the one who's running a little late tonight, but this is Alil.
This is Ed, and I ain't afraid of no ghost.
You know, I didn't get to ask you, Ed, so I did not know you had a Ghostbuster suit. How many more of these things are you hiding that we don't know that you have?
Honestly, I totally forgot about this one.
Oh, I didn't even realize you had your own. I couldn't even see it that you had your name on there. That this is all you custom.
Oh yes, all out.
Nice.
I'm sure for anybody. Well, I guess first off, well here I don't need to keep. I don't even know how to manage this thing. There we go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, for some odd reason, it wasn't letting me shrink it, but
obviously we're too short, so you had to call in the D squad to fill in. But for those who haven't or don't know who I am, like, I obviously enjoy the cosplay. Halloween is my favorite holiday by far. And so for whatever reason today, I was flipping through pictures on my phone, and we did a family, this was years ago, where we all were Ghostbusters. I was actually Slimer. I created a Slimer costume, but I made sure to get myself a Ghostbuster jumpsuit as well. So
nice.
Saw the picture, thought about it, and I'm like, I think I might pull that out and throw it on tonight.
So how did you pull up Slimer?
I'll have to get the pictures and share them. So I like to build things. And so what I did was I built this very large kind of metal mesh, and then shaped it, and then paper machéed it. Built it all out, big eyes, mouth, everything. And so I cut holes in it. So what I ended up doing was I wore black pants, put it on top of me, put my arms through with like green sleeves and green hands, and then I could see through the mouth. It's crazy. So
very, very cool. Man, I don't know, man. Like I can't pull that kind of stuff off. Like I can't, I've thought about cosplay even back in the day. You know, something about when I was big.
Oh, and then there's a show of one. I know. And he's back.
I'm in the frozen tundra of Florida right now, and nothing seems to be working right. It's like if it feels like temperature right now, I think it's in the teens, which in Central Florida is unheard of. And I was out earlier, and the temperatures were dropping. You could feel the dropping. I mean, and they don't insulate homes here when they build them because they don't need to, right?
Yeah.
So I had to run out and like wrap towels around like any kind of outdoor piping we had, and I have like a bunch of PVC hoses and stuff for the pool and everything. It's kind of crazy. What's up? What's up? It's HTS. What's going on? What's up, Taylor? Sorry if I missed you guys. I was. That's part of the problem I had earlier, so that's why we're a little late and wrong. But yeah. So,
do you even have heat?
We do have heat, and like the craziest thing is I didn't know, like, moving down here that like gas houses wasn't a thing. But my house has natural gas, and it is the only street in the entire subdivision. We have a big subdivision that has natural gas because this was like the first build, and then I guess they stopped. So like, our backup generator runs on that, all that kind of stuff, which is great. But I didn't realize it was a thing until like a year or so ago when people were like asking, like we were talking like, normally, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, you have natural gas?" I'm like, "Yeah, what are you talking about?" Like, and they're like, "No, everything's electric." I'm like, "Well, that would suck. Electric stoves stink." Like, Yeah, because when I had to buy a new washer dryer, that was the thing. So I know that's not geekiness, but hey, you know what it is.
Real world.
85 degrees, Pacino. I kind of wish I was there. I'm telling you, like this freeze zone here, what's happening? This I think it's going to be for the next week. It's supposed to be pretty chilly.
Oh, and my mother lives in Myrtle Beach, and she's getting 8 inches of snow.
Holy cow!
Yeah. So crazy
Wow,
stuff these days.
that's crazy. So yeah, so just here while waiting for things to break down. You know, what's going, Ava? Um, And speaking of Ava, today's my twin's birthday as well. We didn't give them a great birthday. You know, I took them to Epcot, which they didn't want to be. They didn't want to go, but me and Jenny wanted to go. So they're telling like my sister-in-law and brother-in-law about it, and then like I went to watch Wonder Man, and they're like, oh, they wanted Portillo's for dinner. It's a hot dog place from Chicago that they have a bunch down here.
All right.
I forced them to go to a toy store as well. You know. Their 15th birthday, and they did nothing that they wanted, but I didn't care. I told my son, you know, we took him to Baltimore to watch the game with the fellas here with Ed, and we stayed at Ed's house. I'm like, that's all you get. Like, I'm not gonna, but yeah, it is what it is. So it's a big South Philly.
Oh yeah.
I hope we do. But yeah, so it was a fun day. So I went toy hunting. So I'm going to talk about that. I did watch Wonder Man, and I think you've also watched Wonder Man.
I have.
And we're going to go, I guess, let's talk about Wonder Man in a non-spoilery review. Ed, I'm curious, how much did you know about Wonder Man prior to the show?
Virtually nothing.
Okay.
Went into it completely cold, had no idea. And the best comparison is it's for me very similar to when Guardians of the Galaxy came out. Now I knew more about the Guardian characters, but was not a fan and so didn't know a lot about it. I remember when Guardians was announced, and my first thought was like, okay, this isn't going to go anywhere. Totally surprised, love the movie, and I put Wonder Man right up in that category. Came into this thinking, okay, who is this C-level character? He can't be that big a deal because, I mean, I'm not the biggest Marvel fan, but I am a Marvel fan. Still didn't really know who he was, but absolutely loved it.
I'm glad you did. You know, like it's funny because like Wonder Man. So Wonder Man's been around a long time, but Wonder Man has had a few solo shots. I think I have his first 90s appearance. I have his one shot from, I want to say it was early 80s, 84, that he had a minor, was it a 12 issue series? I can't remember. But I mean, Wonder Man goes all the way back to the 60s. Like, so a lot of people, I'm actually shocked that he's not popular. I mean, he's been around. I mean, Avengers 7, 8, 9, I think. I want to say Wonder Man. But the craziest thing to me was Doorman. Like, when that showed up, I'm like, there's no way. I even told Jenny, I'm like, there's no way anybody knows who this is. Yes, it's Avengers 9. So you're correct on that. But Wonder Man 2, like, you know, I think a really great story for him if people want to know a little bit. Like, again, he's had a little bit of a different kind of story arc. Like, this is not verbatim like what he is, but I do like the angle that they took here. I think this was the later issues that they kind of went with the actor thing that I kind of fell out of there. You know, I loved his character in Avengers Earth's Mightiest Heroes, the cartoon series that was on it was on Disney for a while. I think it's off Disney because it wasn't their own property, and then they came out with the secondary Avengers cartoon. But it was really good seeing him get kind of his ion powers and kind of what he was doing with it. He hated Tony Stark, all that kind of stuff. Thought it was really good. Oh, then I watched this, and I was shocked that this was the series, right? Like, you go in and you're like, oh, it's going to be a superhero series about Wonder Man. You get the pictures of him, and the costumes look great. The costume looks great, looks fantastic. And then it's really not about that. And I really wish was kind of, I guess I could see the fears the studio had and Disney might have had with this one. Like, they made a really great show. I give this show a hero. I loved the show. I thought it was great. But when you're putting it with the Marvel Spotlight, and dumping it all in one day, I think I could see why they did that, because I think a lot of people would not have. It's not what we were accustomed to, right? It's not what we're used to seeing from a Marvel show. Very minimal at all. I don't want to get into spoiler stuff, but very minimal at all, kind of what you would think of with the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But I really loved it. I really did. And I love that the character of Trevor Slattery and the was back, because I thought he was great and stole the show also in Shang-Chi when he showed up there. I thought that was also fantastic. So it's a very interesting show. I'm very curious to the listeners out there what you guys thought of Wonder Man, because I know it got, like, I guess it popped up on IMDb at like in the 90s percentage wise. I don't know where it still is, nor do I care, because I loved it. So, like, I thought it was great. But I'm very curious to see how others felt about it. Like, did you think it was what the critics were saying, or did you think it was okay? It's weird, and I'm very curious where this character is going to show up again, if this character is ever going to show up again.
I would hope
so. It could go either way, right? This could be the end.
Yeah, it could be a one and done,
or he could show up. So, do you want him to come back, Ed?
Oh yeah, no, I definitely want him to come back. And again, the whole thing with Trevor Slattery in it was fantastic. I mean, there was one moment in it to where it was kind of a switch, and I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool, because maybe it's not what we thought, or what we thought, but then we're told it isn't, and maybe it is. So I loved it.
I did too, yeah. So I agree. It was a breath of fresh air.
Yeah.
And my God, Ben Kingsley doing this. And I don't want to give away some of the other actors that are in this, but I laughed out loud at the end. When there was a switcheroo. That's all I'm going to say. When you get to it, I literally audibly, like, screeched out loud. Like, I thought that was hilarious. What's up, Fernando? But yeah, it's kind of interesting. I think we definitely will be seeing more, and this is not a spoiler. I mean, I think a lot of people know Damage Control has been a part of this.
Yeah.
And he has. So again, go see it. Fernando, you haven't seen it yet. See Wonder Man. Binge it at once. I think it's like 3.5, 4 hours. And
it's not bad.
Like, if you cut, you don't need the previously on and all that kind of stuff. I don't know. Like, I don't know why they left that in there when they dropped it all at once. But I guess if people are just going to watch it when they want to watch it, they might forget what had happened. But yeah, so Wonder Man, I give it a hero.
I'm right there with you, and I don't give them out lightly. So
that is true. Ed has called us out on our heroes. What's up, Jarius? Yep, about 35 minutes an episode, and then if you cut out the end credits, because I think there's like 9 minutes off that, so you're looking at 20
always.
Minutes, so
yeah.
I have not seen the new print of Dr. Octopus on Sideshow. I'll have to check that out for sure. I know there's supposed to be. I thought it was a statue dropping of Dr. Octopus, so I'm trying to rearrange. I'm not joking. Like, I'm trying to rearrange my room. I'm gonna have to build like kind of what I told Sean to do. Like, hey, have shelves sticking out in the middle of the wall. Like, I have a shelving unit. And I think I'm gonna do that. Like in front of my desk here, have a big 6 foot tall like LED shelf light display like right in front of me. I won't be able to see anything in front of me, but I need the space, especially because I'm going down a rabbit hole that I'll talk about in a little bit. But I don't know what Clawbot is, so I don't know what that is. I'm very curious on what Clawbot is now. But Ed, did you watch anything else this week?
I did, and Pacino threw it out there. I too watched Wrecking Crew. It was really enjoyable.
Wait, what's Wrecking Crew? What did I miss?
Wrecking Crew, that is the movie with Dave Bautista and
Jason Momoa. Okay.
Yes. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I totally forgot the title. Like, it just, for some odd reason, when you said Wrecking Crew, I was thinking about the Nintendo game, the old NES game, the Wrecking Crew, and I'm like, wait, they made a movie about the Wrecking Crew? I totally forgot that was Batista. So it was good?
Yeah, no, I enjoyed it. It's definitely has some what I think I can best describe as the Fast and the Furious moments, to where it's a little farcical, but it's good entertainment. But it wasn't too over the top, because I can't stand the Fast and the Furious movies because they're just too out there for me. But no, it was a lot of fun. The characters were good. I mean, it had some touching moments, so it was.
Oh wow. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
It's funny because like I know a lot of people talk about like I guess you use the term farcical, right? With like the Fast and the Furious, and they use that. But then I go back and like when I look at that stuff, it's like that's what we grew up with in the 90s popcorn movies, right? Like the movie Face Off is ridiculous, right? Like that's just straight up ridiculous. Yeah, I would throw that in the realm of the Fast and the Furious. So like when people say that these days to describe movies like Fast and the Furious, I'm like, man, you didn't watch like Demolition Man and and
well, but I don't
maybe mostly all of Stallone's 90s catalog. But
well, some of those movies though, and like Demolition Man, it's in a different timeline, and it doesn't pretend to be real life. And maybe Fast and the Furious doesn't, but it's almost like they try to play it off like this really happened. And I'm like, no, it's not how physics works.
I agree. Well, there you go. Darius brought it up. You're right, Darius. You're right. But, I just kind of like turned my mind off. Oh, they have Ned from Spider-Man in it? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay, so hold on. Darius also brought up before that Clawbot thing. It's an AI thing that lives on your computer, and the AI have recently started their own Reddit. They have made a religion and plans to have their own language. It's like watching the start of Skynet. Holy shit.
Oh, boy.
So I guess 90s action movies aren't farcical because they're happening now. So, okay. That's interesting. See, Pacino said it's a great popcorn movie.
Absolutely.
That's good. I definitely want to check that. I need to check that out. I need to check that the Affleck Damon Netflix movie out.
Oh, The Rip.
The Rip. Yeah, I gotta check that. Did you watch that?
I did.
What'd you think of The Rip?
That was good too, because it was interesting. I wasn't expecting a whole lot considering Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. I mean, I know they play off well together, but when movies are able to fool me in the storyline, because 99% of the time you're kind of like, okay, it was Colonel Mustard in the library with the candlestick. You kind of see it coming. This one had some twists and turns that I did not see, and so I enjoy when they fool me.
So let me ask you this question: twist and turns, but earned twist and turns, or something out of the blue that made no sense? It was like a cheat.
No, it was. I'm trying to, without spoiling it.
Right. So here's my example. Friday the 13th Part 1, the original, right? They don't introduce the killer, the character of the killer, until almost the end of the movie with Pamela Voorhees, right? That was a cheat. As much as I love the movie, it's a cheat when you're watching a whodunit. So is it something like that where it's like all of a sudden somebody comes out of the blue and it's like that made no sense?
I think it's probably, and it would make more sense giving the actors in it, like in Ocean's 11, to where you see it unfolding and then it's like, oh wait, no,
Twist.
these other things kind of are happening. Yes.
Which is fine. I'm
Mhm.
okay with an Ocean's 11 twist.
Yes.
But if you're giving me a twist where all of a sudden it's like it doesn't like where did this person come from? You know, even though it could be like a big time actor, like they weren't in this movie, period. You know, like you could introduce the characters and they could be off site doing something and changing things around a bit. I'm okay with that. So okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Interesting. What do you rate that?
I would have both of them high sidekicks.
Okay.
Like they said, popcorn movies, ones that I really enjoy. I think in order for me to put it to a hero, it's something that I would definitely rewatch multiple times.
Would you have gone to the theater to see either of them?
Probably not. They would be those, hey, that looks kind of cool, unless
I'll wait for
I'll just wait till they come out. So let's see. I don't know if I can pull this up because you were asking, and there you go.
Oh,
there's my Slimer.
Ed's Slimer.
So
that is pretty ridiculous, Ed. Like in a good way. Like, how the hell did you see through that thing?
Like I said, I can see through the mouth.
I understand, but like you have no peripheral vision at all.
No, none whatsoever.
That's pretty good. It's pretty good.
So
I like it. Oh, what else we got here? Oh, Jerry said it's called Molt Book. If you want to search for it, the stuff that AI is doing is a bit performative, but it's wild to see. Fast and the Furious in a type of medieval setting. That would be pretty funny. Fellowship of the Ring was an Ocean's 11 for Sauron. Maybe. I could see that. What do you think about that comment? You think it was
I'm trying to put it together in my head. I'm having a hard time connecting the two. But yeah. So
Americans are really good at fancy dress. You never see that in the streets here. We do like to dress up. We do like our costumes. So
definitely
interesting. You watch anything else this weekend?
I think stuff that sometimes I can't remember what we talk about and not. I'm up to date on Knights of the Seven Kingdom, which I'm really enjoying. Obviously,
we have not talked about that because I'm not the Game of Thrones guy, and the two other Game of Thrones people have been MIA for several weeks. So
yes,
yeah.
So it's a lot of fun. I am a Game of Thrones person. I do need to do a little bit more research because of where this sits in the timeline and trying to connect characters together. But it's almost like Wonder Man. It's kind of a different take within the universe, and it's fun.
Darius agrees. He likes it, but the show needed to drop the 2 up. Yeah, I like when shows do that these days. Like, give me 2 episodes because that first episode is going to leave you at some kind of weird spot. So the 2 episode intro, and then give me the next 6 weeks, right? Like, because it's usually 8 episodes. So, you shut your mouth, Steve. I was nowhere on a cruise. I was nowhere near a cruise ship.
Hollywood.
Yeah, exactly. Hollywood, Steve. What are you doing right now there? On the set of your movie. So outside of watching Wonder Man and catching up on some stuff since I was MIA last week. I did catch up on all the trailers. We released our He-Man review of the trailer and a little bit of discussion on the figures for that. So go check that out if you're looking for He-Man. We're going to be releasing also coming up just quick little breakdowns with all four of us as our reactions for Super Mario Galaxy. And what else did we do it? Because we were trying to do as many as we could, and we kind of ran out of time. But it was Super Mario Galaxy and trying to blink. We didn't do Daredevil, but we did something else. I don't remember what we did, so now I'm losing.
He-Man.
He-Man, I already talked about that.
Okay,
we did
so
3.
He-Man, Mario, and there was another one that was we went through quickly.
We did, but they're all going to be coming out as individual. Darth Maul.
Yes.
Darth Maul. Because we didn't get to do Star Geeks. Thank you, Steve.
Woo.
Steve remembered. He's still a part of the show tonight. We did the Maul, Shadow Lord, right? So those 3 we're going to do, but we will talk about Daredevil tonight. That's for sure. And then we'll, of course, when Steve and Sean are able to join us again, would love to get their opinions on the Daredevil trailer. Although it was kind of felt like more of a teaser, but we'll get to that in spoilers. Anything else, Ed? Before I want to show off and talk about something I'm doing.
Show us what you got.
So the He-Man trailer has I've always loved He-Man. I have an original He-Man on a Battle Cat. I have a Panther. I have an Orko. I have some of the comics. I keep picking up little things here and there. I got these little plush things because whenever I see the old school packaging, I get a little excited. I've been very good at kind of putting the stuff back, because I'm like, I can't do this because I've done it once and flipped it. And then I said, screw it. I want to do it again. So today I recorded, I had the birthday twins, were recording me hunting for some He-Man toys and stuff at Echo Base Collectibles in Florida, and I'll be showing a little bit of that place off. And then I was talking to the owner a bit, and they're doing a big outdoor swap meet at the end of February, which I'm super excited about. So I did pick up a couple Masters of the Universe things because I'm going in and I'm going in hard. I don't care. That trailer just reignited my love for the line. I watch those. I put those cartoons on all the time. Every now and it's like every now and then, all of a sudden, I'm watching Masters, or I'm even watching the Dolph Lundgren movie. I know it's bad, but I still have a weird soft spot for it. It's bad. It's a bad movie. So I'm going to start from basically scratch. Although, except I still have, like I said, I have my He-Man, Battle Cat, Orko, and I have Panther, but I don't have a Skeletor. I don't have any other figures. I just had those guys, and I just kind of left them on the shelf. Eventually, I thought I was going to get a statue. I still might. That's still not out of the question. I like looking at the re-release stuff, and I still might be picking up some of that stuff. But I walked into this place today, and I would Rule 63 of Wonder Woman just be He-Man, but without a sword. I don't know what Rule 63 is, so I don't know. But I did pick up Castle Grayskull today. I went hard right off the bat. Picked up a Castle Grayskull. It's in pretty good shape. I mean, it's not perfect, and it's missing some stuff on the inside. I'll open in a second, but it's got a little bit of a scuff on the eye here, just very little. And on the back, a little bit of a scuffing, but it's in pretty decent shape. The insides, let me open this guy up here. It comes with some of the parts, doesn't have all. Has the shelves, it has the elevator, it has the chair, this little standy piece, the weapons rack. I just gotta put it together. But it doesn't have any of the guns or anything with it on the inside. And it's got some of the stickers in okay shape, but it doesn't have everything. But it's still, again, there's the sticker here with the pit. but it's enough for me to get started. So, I know, Charles. Like, I could get 3D prints. If I have to, at the end of the day, I will. But I'm just gonna see what I can find. I do see pieces for this thing all over the place. It's interesting because like a lot of people will get not, or these will break and then they'll sell off pieces and parts. So, but I got a Castle Grayskull and I'm gonna start with this. It was my wife Jenny. She's like, I'm looking at it. I'm like, I don't know, it's not complete. Blah blah blah. She's like, just get it. She's like, it's one of the better condition ones we've run into. And it was a decent price. I think it was only like $60. So like I didn't even negotiate. Like usually I negotiate this stuff. I'm like, that's pretty good. I'll buy it for $60 and have an original cast. Because all I'm gonna do anyway is display it like this.
Yeah.
It's just gonna sit there, like this. So at the end of the day, I'm in no rush to complete it. I just wanted it, and I'll probably put like a figure here, because they have the little stands there. And have He-Man and Battle Cat sit in front of it on the shelf, and then build upon that as I keep going down this figure line. And then because to me, one of the standout characters in the trailer, and I found him, as I said, Echo Toy Base. They gave me one of their little stickers here. So it's a really cool vintage place. Hope you guys get that video. I have to edit it and put it together, but of my visit there. But I'll probably be going back there quite a bit. It was a really, really cool place. But I got one of the standout characters from the trailer, Fisto, with his sword. So I got Fisto. I was like, you know what? I don't think I ever owned a Fisto, and if I did, I don't remember. But yeah, so I got Fisto, and look at that porn stash going there. Look at that. It's great.
Well, I mean that fits the name. So
I was gonna say with the name Fisto, how does he not? And of course, he's got the punch in action. So starting the He-Man line, and Charles here's loved it as a chew toy. Oh man, that's terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. And I might be picking up other parts that are not just like original line. Like I was looking at some of the I forgot the mini figures that were coming out. Like I had some of this stuff. That's the thing. Like, and I think that's the thing that pisses my wife off is because I had a lot of this stuff and then I got rid of this stuff. So, but there you go. So starting my new He-Man collection with Fisto, drop the sword, and a Castle Grayskull. And yeah, I think I'm going to go heavy on He-Man. I'm going to probably go heavy on Turtles. Take me off of the big screen, Ed. I can't see my button. There you go. Because I was thinking, my kids were asking like, what were my toy lines? What was like my go-to? And it's really at the end of the day, two major toy lines were the ones that consumed like 80 to 90% of my collection. I always had Spider-Man figures, but again, there weren't enough. I didn't have a lot. I had some of the Secret War stuff, but there wasn't a lot, and they didn't really release a lot of that stuff here. That line died quick. Here, I know it had, I think, a second wave or a third wave overseas, where a lot of those figures are really rare. I didn't have a lot of Joes. I wasn't a big 3 3/4 inch figure fan. Like I didn't grow up with Star Wars figures. I had a Darth Vader, but I didn't have a lot of the Star Wars figures. Because Star Wars, when I got to that age, I was already kind of, the movies were over. And I remember watching the Ewok movie as a kid and not caring for it. Like it was on and I was like, this is, and I would catch on WGN, the Superstation Star Wars. And it didn't get me like He-Man did. Like, again, I liked Vader. I remember seeing Vader, and I think that's why I ended up with a Vader toy. Somebody gave it to me for Christmas. But really, it was Vader and TMNT. He-Man and TMNT were my big two lines. I had some Thundercats. I had a Centurion. I would have little bits and pieces. I had a couple Transformers. But those were my two. And I keep dropping his sword. I don't know why. I'm going to not put his sword on anymore. But I'll just keep holding Fisto. But it was those two lines. Those two lines were, I think, like the biggest part of my collection. So I'm going to go hog wild on those two for sure. I will pick up, I'm sure, things as I see as I find, because I want to go hunting. So I'm going to do these videos of me hunting. So I hope for added content for you guys to see. A lot of places. There's a lot of places here in Central Florida that do a lot, and I know I've shown bits and pieces of Acme Superstore down here, which is a crazy. I mean, you cannot believe how big this place is, and just just having fun with that. Going to flea markets, there's tons of those, especially as it starts getting warmer, and going through that. We're Sean and Steve. So Sean is with his daughter. They're at a tournament, I think in
Pittsburgh.
And so he could not record tonight. And Steve's on a set of his new motion picture coming out. I don't remember the name of it. Do you remember the name, Ed?
Help me. I'm only guessing because when I crashed his meeting the other day.
Okay.
Because it just said "Help me" meeting. And
okay.
As I mentioned, I thought
That's
it was
right. You did crash
something. I'm like, oh, somebody needs help. Let me jump in. And
that's why I remember. That's why I figured you remember that, because that's right. You crashed his meeting.
This isn't what I thought it was. Sorry.
Yeah, Steve's having production meetings and stuff, and Ed's just crashing them, which is hilarious. So, but so he's doing that, James. So they'll be back. It's just been a busy month. Like I had a miss last week as well, so we didn't do a show. Yeah, so it's very interesting. Naming Hephaestus, did the creators know what they were doing? Were they also childlike and naive? They had to know some considered He-Man, JJ's. Well, I don't know. Filmation, everything I know of the company, like if you see a lot of their old cartoons, I really don't think they did. Because if you look at a lot of the names of the characters, it's very basic, very juvenile in a sense. So I think, yeah. So it's what it is. So, so there you go. So I'll be on a collecting journey. I don't know how long this will last. My guess is going to last for a while because I've had an itch to collect. I didn't know what to collect.
When you talk to the owner, I'm just curious if it came up. Is he already seeing a spike in interest in He-Man?
Oh yeah, we talked about that because I asked him, because I saw some of the figures he had in there, and they weren't cheap. Like I said, I don't have a complete Skeletor, and I want a complete Skeletor to put on Panther. So that's the first thing I asked him. I'm like, do you have any more figures in the back? And he's like, no, ever since that damn trailer came out. And he didn't say it in a bad way because he loved it too. We were loving our, but he's like, ever since that trailer came out, like these things have flown off the shelf. He's like, and that's the other reason. Jenny's like, you need to buy this Castle Grayskull right now. She's like, it's not going to be as cheap in this condition ever again, even though it's missing pieces. She's like, you'll be able to find those, or and again, like I said, I'm not going to display it open. I'm not playing with it. And the fact that I saw some of these figures, even these secondary characters that I used to be able to find in a bin, and now they're, Fisto, he gave them to me for 20. I didn't even have to negotiate. He's like, I'll do them for 20. I think he had like 26 on them. And I'm like, this was a year ago, probably a $5 to $10 figure. So
yeah.
Now
so
it become $20.
For anyone who's watching, who obviously likes the geek things that we all do, if you start to hear about any of your favorite things in early production, go buy your stuff early.
Yep.
Because once it starts to hit, demand and prices will go up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at, because I know Voltron is going to be coming out at some point with Henry Cavill, and I do have the Voltron that came out 5-6 years ago now for the anniversary, and it's something that I love the figure. I know it's not the greatest. I know like Sean's got the most amazing Voltron. Oh my god, it's sorry.
The bat phone.
Yeah, it's the bat phone. But So I lost my train of thought because of the bad phone. Um, like I want to get a vintage Voltron now. I did see one at his store, but I think it was his because it was like behind the counter, like in a decorative sense, not like for
Yeah.
sale, kind of in display cases. Um, so like I'm looking at that as well. So like my hunting now, yes, my focus will be on I think He-Man more so than anything else. But if I start running into other pieces, especially like I said, you know, turtles or anything like that, and I'm also looking for like the wacky. Like I don't want to get just figures. Like I don't. That's not what I'm looking for. Like you know, if I can find a great classic artwork on some crazy items, I want to pick those up. Like a fanny pack, you know, lunch boxes, old radios. I know that. You know, I know it's funny because like as I was like just like looking on eBay at things, just not like I was looking to buy on eBay. I was looking at eBay to see like what is out there. Like I remember things like, and then what sparked the first conversation was, and it wasn't even the trailer. It was before the trailer came out. When I was a kid, I know I'm going down all the memory lane, but you know, sorry guys, if this bores you, I apologize. But when I was a kid, me and my brother, like, and I don't want to talk about you know somebody who's no longer with us, but my grandfather was not a great person. And you know, it was his third wife, and we went to go visit them for the holidays. And he had a big house, and so we would, you know, we would just go and explore. Um, they had no kids; they were all older. And in the back room, we know she loved to sew things and stuff, and they had these 3 foot He-Man and Skeletor pillows, like you know, because I don't know if you remember Ed back in the day, they would sell you would go to like a craft thing, and that you would get like a printed thing, and it had the dots around, and you could make a pillow of all these characters. Like Jenny still has strawberry shortcake that's like this big, you know, from you know way back in the day for her. And I remember we found these He-Man and Skeletor, and we were like, "Oh my god, we're gonna get these!" And these are the most amazing things. Like it was like my buddy thing that you made for yourself, right? Like,
Yeah.
and I, you know, it was a He-Man and a Skeletor, and like it was perfect for me and my brother. And no, man, we got clothes, and those were for her grandkids, and you know, it was tough. But I was telling Jenny that story before the trailer came out, and then the trailer drops, and I'm looking everywhere now for like just the material. I don't want a pillow because it's kind of gross. Like I don't want to buy plushies. I'm not, you know. I know people that do, and it's cool. Like I just don't do. I don't want that, you know. But I found the pattern on eBay, and so then I started scrolling, thinking like, what other obscure things. And so, like, I saw Pixel Dan, like he's great with that. He's a big Masters Universe fan. If you ever watch his YouTube channel, he wrote a book on Masters toys. He's writing a book now on Turtles toys. He's kind of my age group, our age group area. I think he's around that time. And he had a whole video about the He-Man toothbrush set. You know, it was like, I don't know. I know Ed, you were a bit older, but there was figures back in that time in the mid 80s where you had your favorite toy. He was holding a toothbrush. You get a motorized toothbrush, and they had a He-Man one. I remember I had the He-Man one. I always wanted the Skeletor one, and we never got the Skeletor one. My brother, like, he got I think he got a Thundercats one or something like that. And but we saw the He-Man one, and then literally the other day, my buddy's texting me, and he's like, I haven't heard from him in a long time. He bought some Spider-Man thing, and he's like, hey, it's been like a year. He sends me this thing. He's like, look at this thing, and it's like a Spider-Man silver coin with light up eyes, and it's crazy. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's really awesome. I need to find something like that. And I was just message, you know, we were just talking, and then I was like, yeah, I'm going back hard into He-Man. He's like, I wish you would have told me this a couple weeks ago. I sold most of my He-Man stuff. I still had it. I still have this left, and he had a full complete toothbrush. And like I didn't want to take it from him because it's like a $300 piece, and I was just like, this is crazy. Yeah, so like all of a sudden I'm looking at all this stuff. So it's like They had kites and shrinky dinks and color forms. And
Shrinky.
so like I'm telling Jenny, I'm like, I'm gonna buy shrinky dinks and I just want to make them and just put them all over the house. I want to, I'm gonna do this. Like, why not? Like, I'm a 46, soon to be 47-year-old man, and I want to play with shrinky dinks and color forms and all that kind of stuff.
Awesome.
Yes. So, what's up, Kenneth?
Kenneth.
Probably come around to binging Andor season 2 this month with my wife. We finished Rogue One. Absolutely perfect cinema the way it flows. We should consider re-reviewing Rogue One in light of Andor being done. I think we're going to probably end up doing that on Star Geeks. We've kind of gone through, and I think did we stop at Jedi? Did we do Jedi?
We're waiting on Sean to tell us when we can do Jedi.
That's right.
I think we talked about doing it for his birthday coming up.
Maybe. So a full body would be an awakening for some. Hey, I want the full body He-Man. I still want the print. And if I find the print, I'm gonna have, well, probably my wife will sew it. I'm not good at that, but she's gonna make me a 3-foot He-Man, and he's gonna be right in bed.
Okay. So I think we talked about this off the air, but with regards to He-Man,
yeah,
obviously the trailer was amazing.
It was, yeah.
Extremely high expectations now, which can be dangerous for anything.
I am worried about that because, like, we're all geeked out for it. I think the four of us, when we talked to the trailer, like, I had so much more to say and I just couldn't get it out. Like, there's so much more about some of the vehicles that we saw in the trailer and everything. It was just like a full geek out. And, like, I watched the trailer probably a good dozen times already, maybe more. It's just that good. And, I'm afraid. I'm afraid that it's just not going to live up to this hype. And we do this to ourselves all the time. We put these thoughts in our heads. I've even fought back against that. We've argued about that in the show millions of times that it should have done this, it should have done that. But it's like, but what we got was really good and we can't get past it. And I'm worried that that's going to be this. I am worried about that.
Which kind of fits in line with us talking about Wonder Man, because I went in cold, had no expectations, and loved it. So that's kind of the in comparison, we see the trailer, we get all hyped, we build these expectations, and because it's not what we are expecting it to be, we get let down, where and otherwise it might be a fantastic movie. But what we saw in that trailer, and I think what really resonates, is that this seems to be, at least in my recollection, the first one of these kind of nostalgic properties where they took everything we loved about the toy line and tied it into the movie. Because
for the most part, I've seen
we love
a lot of haters on the internet, which is funny to me. I think the first one was talking about in the trailer, we see He-Man on Earth, right? Or we see Prince Adam on Earth, or Adam.
Right.
And they're like, there was never mention of Earth at all in this series. And I'm like,
wrong.
His mom was from Earth. They've said that. She got lost. She was a
astronaut.
And so Earth was a part of this. He-Man is a part of Earth.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm like, it makes sense why she would have sent him to Earth. She knows Earth. But no, again,
nobody else in Eternia would know about it, so hide them where they have no clue.
Makes sense, right?
But visually, it's the toys come to life.
It is.
And so if this movie really does hit the way that we all hope that it does, I kind of threw together and was thinking, like, okay, what other similar type things from that time period could they basically do the same format and go, okay, you know what? Here's the toy, here's the cartoon. Use this as a template to give us a movie.
So I think Turtles has already been done to death, right? So I don't think Turtles can come out and have. have the same impact because Turtles has been around and they've had multiple movies, multiple reboots, multiple animated movies.
Right.
So I would take Turtles off that list, right?
But
I'm not saying in a negative way. Like, right, if they did a Turtles, um, if they did a Turtles movie and went back, we were watching those AI,
yes,
or I think they're AI or digitally recreated shorts that this dude's doing. He's doing God's work with those things, with like
right.
the turtle, and it's kind of coaxing in with the toy line, right? Because the foot soldiers are robots in that, and it's awesome.
Yeah.
Um, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, I'll try to put it um, in the description. A link to, I think the Raphael was the last one that came out.
Yeah.
So I would say Turtles would be a hard sell. Not a hard sell, but Turtles would be off my list in that top 6. I think the problem, Mask is kind of already there in a sense. We've already kind of seen things, and I don't think Mask was big enough.
No, it may not have been. These were just some things
Yeah,
that kind
no,
of popped into my
these are
head.
great IPs. I think if you want to look for comparison, I think GI Joe, if they got another shot, and
Yeah.
it was because that's the thing, GI Joe has not done the characters right. Period.
No,
You know,
I mean,
like we got
again,
a tease in a
mhm,
little bit, but not enough. And they have such bright characters, such interesting stories to tell,
yeah,
vehicles, all that kind of stuff. If you brought that, I think GI Joe is a huge one, and I think Thundercats is another big one. But I think is where its popularity has stood longer than I think the others have, and I think those two properties. Not to say it would have the same height as He-Man on that level because of the because GI Joe's already been around, so some people won't
right.
look at it as new. And I know He-Man had Revelations and everything that was on Netflix, and I think that's part of it that's helped spark this moving forward. Um, Thundercats would be the most interesting one, and I think that one, just like a Voltron movie coming out, like I think that's another property that,
Yeah.
if done well, it's a really popular IP globally, right? And
Oh, yes.
it had a big swing here. A lot of people loved Voltron. Um, but again, the toys didn't sell like the toys of He-Man. You know, Masters was,
Right.
you know, in 83, I believe made almost five, maybe it was 83, 84, whatever. It was right in those 2 years, made this $500 million in sales, which is like, you equate that to today, you're talking about multiple billions of dollars because the
In
figures were a
toys.
couple bucks. The
Yeah.
figures sold for a couple bucks a pop. So imagine that today, you know, where
Oh, yeah.
these same figures, I mean, the same figures basically that are being re-released are selling at $20 a pop. You know, so you know, I think they were $2.50, 2.49. You know, somebody quote me, go find an ad from 1983. I'd be really interested to see what those He-Man toys were going for. But I think that's why. Like, I don't know. It was kind of like a rocket ship. Like GI Joe is popular as hell.
Yeah.
Too.
And I
Thundercats is
think GI
popular, but
Joe is the one that I would like to see them again, if this works,
right.
to go back and for the same purpose and go, what was it that we loved? We loved the toy line and we loved the cartoon. So there's your template. That's what the nostalgia needs to stem from. If you build it off of that, then have fun with it. Yeah, if you
So
start going through and you see like the different, especially the vehicles
yeah.
and the characters, that's the key.
And we've seen this work in a sense, but it hasn't hit the same for me. Like when we saw Transformers, the first Transformers Michael Bay movie, it did gangbusters. The series has made billions as a series as a whole, right? But I don't think I was happy with any of the movies until we got to Bumblebee.
Yeah.
Like the Bumblebee movie, when we got the G1 looking Transformers, was
It-
really and again, that's what got us all like,
right.
hey. this is awesome. And I think we enjoyed. I remember I enjoyed the first Transformers movie, but I do think that they really started going downhill and like everything started looking alike. Like you didn't have like what they're doing with Masters, the bright colors, the characters. Like, yes, we're probably not going to get the same voice of Skeletor doing his he and calling people boneheads and stuff like that. Like I don't see that because
No.
this will be a little bit more serious of a take, and I'm okay with that. Maybe you'll get a joke here or two or a quip here or two, but or maybe it'll be an end credit scene or something where he does that laugh or something. But I don't see him talking to He-Man like that. He-Man, you boob. Like I don't see that happen.
No.
But I'm okay with if it doesn't. Like I don't need a pound for pound. But yeah, I agree. I agree that it was so hard to see. Darius is saying here, like the differences between the characters,
Yeah.
and I agree. I mean, I remember the trailer seeing Optimus on the dinosaur. We were all going nuts, but it still hit at that time. But I think seeing Marvel and even DC like getting the costumes right for these characters and stuff, finally we can get the colorful toy boxes that we had growing up as kids. So
yeah.
And what did Charles say? Charles said something here. So is Tatooine of the He-Man universe? So is Earth? So Earth is Tatooine of the He-Man universe?
Everybody keeps going back to it. It's in the outer rim, and yet it seems like it's the center
right
of the
there.
galaxy.
I guess you could say that, right? I mean, but it's not. I mean, they go to Eternia.
The obscure planet that nobody knows about, and yet they always keep going back to it.
It's true. It is true.
Well, it's easier to do. There's other aspects of it. It becomes relatable, and you don't have to build a set for Earth. We're already here, so
yeah. I don't need a building set. I don't need an office set. And I think sometimes, as you said, when you're trying to get a mass audience, you gotta ground them in a little bit of their reality. It's the same thing. Transformers, me and the cartoons were here. We had Cybertron, but then they ended up coming here. So I mean, it is what it is. Yeah. So I guess I know Ed, you got some news. I know we talked probably through parts of it what you had up, but that's okay. We can go through and see what else we forgot to talk about.
So I know one of the things that I was laughing as I saw, it's been talked about off and on for a while now, but I guess there was some kind of tweet or X or whatever the platform was that somebody had just asked the question about the Robert Pattinson Batman, and James Gunn just was like, no. Like there was no, before he kind of walked around it and was like, well, maybe, we'll wait and see. It was just a flat out no. So I know they're going to separate the timing of the release for the second movie with him and the Batman Brave and the Bold. But I think once that second movie comes out, I'd be surprised if they do a third. I think that it just doesn't fit in with his vision of the DCU.
Yeah, and I'm guessing the only reason, unless it does box office gangbusters, which it could. I mean, I don't know the cost of the last one, and I know a lot of people like that movie, and it made good money. And if it has a cost benefit, but the only reason I think we are getting the second one is I think the Penguin helped it. Right? Like the Penguin, I mean, winning awards and being as beloved as it was, I think really helped like get a second season kicked off. I could see, even though it did well, James Gunn kind of continued to try to shoo it away. But after the Penguin was released, like you can't at that point, right? And it's another reason. That's a problem, man. Wow. Like if he's gonna wait what's the right amount of time to wait before you have your next Batman movie that's not the same Batman?
Well, I
You
think
know,
they're
is
trying
it
to put them like in different years. So if one's going to do a 2026, he wants to wait till 2027 before the other one. I don't know in what part of the year, if you're doing like a fall and a spring, but different calendar years is at least what I've heard his desire is. Now, as we know, that's not always going to be his call because there's dollars and cents involved. So,
yeah, and there's a purchase right now of a studio, so I guess we'll see, right?
yeah.
I
But
mean,
it's a shame.
he could say no all he wants. If that Batman movie makes gangbusters money, and Netflix comes in and says we don't want multiple Batmen, and we like
This one.
Pattinson Batman, and this one's doing well, and we want to, and we can build off a series because
Yeah.
they did the Penguin, and I know Netflix likes that. He's gonna do. I mean, unless he decides to step down, which I doubt he will. They'll give him creative control like that he has, but like this
Yeah.
is what we want.
This is the direction.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest part is that while I enjoyed that Batman movie, it wasn't perfect. It wasn't great. I liked the newer take on it. I liked the younger version of Batman. But I agree with you. When they took that Penguin series, then I really fell in love with that
With Gotham,
iteration of the world.
I think that's what it was, right? It was the Gotham
Yes.
Underground that we got snippets of in the Nolan verse. You know, like there was that, that was the scene in the first in Batman Begins when he's like, you in this, what was he looking at? Like the kid, remember he was like stalking somebody with binoculars and like the kid came out. You got to see a little bit more of Gotham in that scene. You got to see a little bit more of Gotham when the Scarecrow was releasing the toxin. You got more of Gotham there, but we never really went back to that. You know, like the third one felt like everything was so bright. It's because it was in the daytime filmed a lot of it, and it just didn't feel the same. And in the second one, it was Joker focused a lot, so we didn't get that. Yes, we saw criminals and we saw that, but we didn't see it in working action like we did in Penguin.
Yes.
So that's a good call. I think you're right. I think as much as the Penguin was great in that show, Gotham was a character in itself.
Yes. And that is at least, I mean, our resident DC fans are unfortunately not here to chime in.
Yeah,
but
why am I sitting here talking about DC?
But that world, that kind of grounding in Gotham sold me. And I like that. I like it when you can kind of bring it down a little bit. I mean, and it's hard to do in a motion picture. So when you can tie in a streaming show or something that's you get 8-10 episodes, you can get granular. You can feel what it is to live in that, and especially if you do it right, it works.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I mean, I can't take that away from them on how they built Gotham. I think they did a good job. So we'll see. We shall see.
yes.
What else we got? What else we got?
Yes. Unfortunately,
Sad.
so it
71.
Way too young. And it was interesting because while she's been very busy forever, it felt like she was kind of making a resurgence to where we saw Catherine O'Hara in a lot more things recently. And unfortunately, she's no longer with us, but man, I went through her IMDb just to see all of the different projects that she's worked in. And some of them I had no idea, especially some of the animation stuff that she voiced.
Like who?
Well, probably one of the more popular ones is that she did the voice of Sally from A Nightmare Before Christmas.
I did know that. Okay.
So, but yeah, there was a few other ones out there, but obviously Beetlejuice, Home Alone are probably the most popular. And then, of course, she was in a number of things, and a lot of it stemmed from kind of the relationships and friendships she had from doing SCTV
Yep.
with, and obviously that crew have done some very good and hilarious work. So
Yeah, it's funny because like a lot of people that grew up like knew her more from like Home Alone, right? As the
Mhm.
mom, you know, everyone's mom. But she was such a comedic genius.
Oh yeah.
And I am still upset at myself that I have not got to Schitt's Creek. I've seen Best in Show, I've seen a lot of the SCTV. I loved, John Candy, so a lot of that stuff is kind of why I followed him. But like all I've heard is Schitt's Creek is a masterpiece, and I need to go. Me and Jenny were just talking about that. Like that's something we got to go and kind of. And she watched it when I was, in school and stuff, because I'm always in school. So she would pick up comedies and start watching the entire series, and then all of a sudden it's like, "Hey, did you watch this?" Like Arrested Development, another one that I got into way late in the game, but she was already watching the whole thing, and so that's something I gotta watch. If you guys have not seen that, I'm sure most of you have out there. I'm always late and wrong. Shit's
I
great.
haven't either, but
That's
I'm
all I
writing
hear.
it down.
I hear it's just brilliant. So
So I get that's the only problem. So when you come into things late, sometimes when you look at it and you'll see 3, 4, 5 seasons and however many episodes,
and
it
it's
seems
daunting task.
it's so overwhelming. I'm like, I don't even know if I want to bother with this because I just, but
But some of the ones I've done that late in the game have become some of my favorite go-to shows.
I yes,
Superstore, turn that on, watch it anytime. Brooklyn Nine-Nine. I got in late into Parks and Rec. I love, love, love Parks and Rec. So like, yeah, I'm late and wrong, and I'm okay to own it. I'm gonna
well,
own it, and I think this is the next big one that I need to go down that rabbit hole with. I think it's worth it, especially seeing that cast. I didn't even know like who was in this. I knew she was, and then I'm like, okay, I need to watch this. I need to watch this
yeah,
show.
I wrote it down, but I can relate because I'm drawing a blank on the name. But to the same point, I was late and wrong in coming to that hockey series that I
Oh yeah,
set
you
up.
told me to watch. Yeah, yeah,
Yes. So you're right. Even if it's late, it's never too late.
yeah. And especially, I think it's different with comedy than
Oh
like
yeah.
dramas. Because it's like I do want to watch Game of Thrones, but it's like everybody's like, "Oh, wait till it gets to season 3 and the this or that," and I'm like, "All right, well, now
Yeah.
it's like okay, so now I have but comedies are different. Like you don't have these big buildups. It's just a comedy." Uh, Carl says it's funny as hell, so there you go. Carl has
Did
spoke.
you get the opportunity to watch the Mummy trailer?
I did briefly, like I saw it quick, but I didn't get to deep dive it. So I thought it looked good.
Yeah.
I was shocked when I saw that it's coming out in like 2 months.
Yeah. April 17th.
And Jenny was like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh my god." Um, yeah. What did you think?
I mean, you and Steve are definitely way more in the horror. But when I saw this, I'm like, oh yeah, I want to see this one.
Yeah, we'll see.
So
Like I have a different. Yes, Shorzy
yes,
is what
Shorzy.
he's talking about. Yes,
Exactly. Yeah. So
you're right. I have different elevations of horror. Right, like there are things that I consider like horror adjacent. We always pick. Me and Steve always kind of pick on Sean and things that, yeah, I guess you could put it in the horror box, but I'd never consider that horror. So a lot of times, especially with IPs like this, I wait. Like I'm not gonna. Yes, I know you're trying to be a little scared, but then a lot of these times when I see especially the base IPs, you know, the Frankensteins, the Mummies, the Draculas, all that kind of stuff. To me, it's like I'm never scared of any of those movies.
Yeah.
You know, so like when you talk horror, I don't know. Like for some odd reason, I always feel of them as like action adventure movies.
No, those that you mentioned, I agree. This felt more in that horror genre
It
than
did, but
so.
is it gonna be there? Like, right? Is it gonna go that far? So we'll see.
We shall see. And then we got a kind of trailer because it was obviously not a real trailer, but it got me excited for. I think they are in filming right now for the new Highlander.
They are. We got the first still of Henry Cavill.
Yep.
I'm gonna
But
be
that was
honest, Ed. I watched Highlander, what, 92, 93? When did that come out? Right around there. Well, I watched it on VHS, so maybe it came out a little earlier than that. I don't really think I've watched it since.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple times.
And I know people love this IP. People love the movie. It was fine, from what I remember. I'm not the experienced guy here and who remembers Highlander. I know so many people talk about Highlander, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm glad. I'm curious, and maybe that's the right way to go in with this one, because it's like I don't have those expectations, and hopefully it blows me away.
Yeah, no, I mean, Henry Cavill, he's a geek like the rest of us as far as his knowledge and involvement in so many of these different things. So him being involved in what he usually brings, I'm excited for it, especially the McLeod character. And then
So it came out in '86. So yeah, maybe I did watch a little. Maybe it's been even longer. I thought 92, but yeah. So I mean, I do remember Christopher Lambert. So and Sean Connery, but
and Clancy Brown was the
totally forgot
bad
about
guy.
Clancy Brown. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
I forgot that it was him until I saw your picture.
Yep.
Yeah. But yeah,
Juan Sanchez Villalobos Ramirez was Sean Connery's character, being played by Russell Crowe. So
I know it was '80s, Carl. I probably didn't watch it until like '90. You know, like I was 10 in 90, 91. You know, so
yeah, no, I'm excited for that. Just again with the lineup they have, it has the potential of being good, but time will tell.
yeah. All right, what else? What else we got?
I think
Anybody else out there excited for Highlander? I'm very curious if you guys are excited for Highlander. Like I know a lot of people are. So, and what else? I know there's one thing I'm excited to talk about.
Daredevil.
So this, I don't know. Do you consider this a full trailer? I mean, to me, I kind of consider it a teaser.
Yeah, it's a teaser. It's a teaser. Yeah.
Darius is very excited for Highlander. So good. Will they keep the Queen theme? I don't know. Did you remember that soundtrack? One of Scotland's only cultural exports since the Darien expedition. Oh man, that's awesome. This is a cool picture. I don't know where you pulled this from, but like that rain looking like blood. Awesome. I'm all in for Daredevil season 2. I'm so happy, and I know we knew Jessica Jones was back. I'm hoping there's more surprises. I'm really hoping for Luke Cage.
Well, and that's my next slide that I had. So yes, we know we have Jessica Jones. Who else do you think that we could, even if it's just a cameo, see in here? Obviously Luke Cage, which I'm sure we're going to at least get a cameo. I don't think he's going to have a really big role, at least until season 3. but I think we see him even if it's just at the very last episode of this season. I think he'll make an appearance.
I hope.
I do too.
I like that you have Muse on there. I really hope they bring in the supernaturalness of Muse and he's alive, right?
That's why I included him.
And I think that fits. Foggy.
Well,
I mean, we did see Foggy in a flashback, because
right.
he didn't have the beard and everything. Do I think he's going to come back alive? I know in the comics, faked his death kind of thing.
Right.
I don't know if they're going to do that. I think Foggy's going to just be dead.
All right. That's because I knew that storyline was out there.
Yeah, it is.
So I had him included. I know we already talked, and it's a very unlikely thing that we'll get the Punisher, although I love the Punisher. So, and I don't know if we would get, even if it's a cameo, because we saw the cells where the Kingpin is keeping all of his worst of the worst, but we know that the Punisher's already escaped.
Yeah, he broke out already. And I think what's going to end up happening is Daredevil's going to break the rest of them out.
Oh, yeah.
I would like the Swordsman to team up with them, especially if he got some kind of it doesn't have to be a perfect suit, but some kind of suit, little purple highlights there. Do I think Echo can show up? Possibly. I don't see Ms. Marvel showing up. I don't know if she fits.
Yeah, I wasn't sure. I just know geographically she's in the area.
She's in the area, and her father was in season 1. So, it's all there, right? To be able to bring her in. I just don't know if she fits. I think in the tone.
No, I agree.
It's just I don't know if I see Spider-Man here, but I do see the events here bleeding into the events of Spider-Man. I do see that there's potential there. Not to say that we're going to see Vincent D'Onofrio's Kingpin and Spider-Man, but we are going to get the Punisher in Spider-Man. So there's got to be some kind of
yeah, there's crossover here.
Crossover thing that might bleed in or part of the story, or we saw Damage Control in Wonder Man. Damage Control has a piece in Spider-Man. Damage Control could be part of something here that ties in, especially with the task force that Fisk has, all that kind of stuff. Now, the interesting one is Kate Bishop's Hawkeye, because, and I'm going to ignore Iron Fist for now because I just don't think that's happening at all. I mean, I feel bad for the character of Danny Rand, the actor. I just don't think he brought it as much as.
No, that was a miscast.
Yeah, I get it, but I just don't think it worked. Kate Bishop is interesting because she's tied into the Swordsman as well. Could we see the Kate Bishop searching for him? I don't know why, but there was, the tie-in. Was he in the Hawkeye? He was in the Hawkeye series, but I'm trying to think what else was he in that could tie him also back to bring her back somehow. I don't know. Because he wasn't a bad guy. It was her mom. That would be an interesting kind of twist, right? That she would show up somewhere.
Again, any little thing that they can do to tie the universe together.
Especially if you're going to use any of these people later on, right? You need to bring Kate. I mean, and they did tie her into the end of the Marvels with Ms. Marvel. So there could be some kind of backdoor way that Ms. Marvel shows up, which would be interesting. So, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Who do you think, Ed? If you had to put your money on one of these, what do you have, 9 characters on here?
Yes.
Who would you bet?
Well, I think the easy money is Luke Cage. They've
Okay,
already teased him in kind of Easter egg stuff in season 1.
they did,
The fact that we're getting Jessica Jones,
which makes sense. So that
which
means that's still somewhat of a canon thing. You
correct.
know,
So I think that's the easy money. Um, if we're kind of gonna go with like the characters on the bottom row, I think Echo's probably the most likely, just because of the connection with Kingpin
Kingpin,
and
and
everything
she
else.
fought Daredevil. You
Yeah,
know, like so, like there's
yeah.
a connection.
So she fits in there. Uh, I would like them to kind of keep Foggy's death actual. I don't
Yeah,
need to. I mean, I'm fine with some things. You could bring him back as far as flashbacks and whatever, as far as tie-ins. The Muse part would be fantastic, especially
yeah,
because artwork seems to play such a big part in in season 1. We've already seen it in just this little teaser.
yeah. All those
So
Kingpin posters too that
yeah,
he's hanging up of himself as like the good guy, the savior, and all this kind of stuff. But then also you get that weird clip of like the guy making videos with like a Kingpin mask on.
yeah. And I think that there's still some murals in the background as you're flashing in the different scenes. So
Well, remember they couldn't get him down. They couldn't, they couldn't take him down, which is awesome. I man, what if that's Muse doing that kind of anonymous kind of thing would be as Kingpin would be kind of crazy, but kind of
so
awesome at the same time. But then who is that? Or is it Stu? I keep forgetting his name because Ava keeps calling him Stu Mocker. Um, oh my god, the other actor he was just in. Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts. Somebody out there, get it before me. Uh, Born Against. Oh my god, come on. He was the killer in Scream. Oh my god, now
I got
I'm gonna have to look it up now, and
yeah. I was gonna
I've
say
lost
I got
my horror card now because it's Matthew Lillard. Jesus, thank you, Matthew Lillard, because he's in this. So I don't know.
so the question with the kind of odd man out on here, Iron Fist. Do they eventually bring the character back? And if they do they just recast him and pretend that that character from the Netflix version just never happened?
He got what, 2 seasons? Did he get
Mm,
2 seasons?
I don't remember, but I mean, because they were even when they weren't standalone, they were so much crossover.
There was the whole Defenders season as well. So,
Yeah. So
um, I don't know. Maybe if he man, if he took some lessons on fighting, I'd give him a shot. With a different direction. But the fact that he could barely fight, he was
yeah,
supposed to be a martial artist, like just drove me nuts.
so bad.
But I
So,
think they would end up recasting at that point. Like Jessica
wait,
Jones, like she was awesome.
oh yeah,
Luke Cage was awesome. He was just crap. I'd
yeah.
even bring back what's her face? Who is in his series? I can't remember their names now. It's been so long.
Yeah.
It's getting late and I can't remember. I have been bad at remembering names. Jeez. Um, it's gonna kill me now. It's gonna bother me that I don't remember her name.
I'm just thinking that's got to be very demoralizing for him to be like, "Hey, look, I was part of
Colleen Wing. Sorry.
this group where we had Daredevil, Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist,
And
and
all of
we
them come
saw
back but me.
all of them come back, reprising their roles except the one." And I know that they've talked about him out there. He's actively trying to come
Get
back
back.
to that position. But
Yeah, because has he done anything since? Really?
uh,
Was it Finn Jones? Right? Like,
yeah,
let's see. Let's see what Finn Jones has done since. What does he have upcoming? He has the Bernie of Samantha Bird, a TV series, and Canyon of the Dead. He did a movie in 2002 called The Visitor. Did a TV series called Swimming with the Sharks. Another movie called Awake. Yeah, so he's done 4 projects that have released since Iron Fist. Yeah, I don't know. Carl, thanks. I said Colleen Wing, yes, but yeah. Agree. He did not try to be anything. He was terrible.
yeah. And again, that's I do blame a lot on the casting. I understand that, he was a face because of his
the Game
role
of
that he
Thrones, right?
played in Game of Thrones. But if you're casting for a martial arts expert, you would think you'd bring somebody in who at least has some basic skills in martial arts to begin with.
Some
If,
athleticism.
yeah, I
How
mean,
about that?
that was
I don't know.
painful.
I mean, Jean-Claude Van Damme was a dancer before he became a martial artist. So, like, come on. If you can be athletic, you can pull off. You've got stunt choreographers teaching you this stuff. Just be able to do it. And I don't know. Maybe he thought he was better than that. I don't know. Then why even do a damn series called Iron Fist? I don't know. Beverly Hills Ninja. That was Chris Farley, right? Was generally more athletic than that guy. And Chris Farley was doing his own jump kicks. No wire work. All right. Hey, we got anything else? Any other news? We hit everything. All right. Anybody out there think that we missed anything? And also, do you want Finn Jones back? Do you? And if you do, please explain yourselves, because I would be curious as to why. Yeah, Carl call it. Yep, we get Iron Fist did get 2 seasons. Could not remember. I knew Defenders, so he was in 3 seasons as Iron Fist, which is boy.
3 too many.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, I guess we hit everything we could this week. Thank you guys for joining us. We love having you. We love the conversation. Please like, subscribe, comment, do all the things that YouTube lets you do and stuff like that for the show. We appreciate it. It helps the show. And yeah, that's it. This is Alil.
And this is Ed.
Ed, I'll let you sign the geekiness off, because
I don't know the
Star
whole,
Geeks.
I was going to say, I don't know the whole spiel that Steve normally does, but until next week, keep it geeky.